That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and I am here to deliver my responses in video form for the Haunted Boardroom. This is my chance to make it into the third act of the Sorcerer's Apprentice Season 3 Homecoming Edition. So what's going on here is the glorious host, Space Mountain, has provided us with 3 questions to answer to kind of gauge our skills and gauge our growth in the Armchair Imagineering competition. So with that in mind, I'm going to be doing that. I've just been super busy tonight because I've been typing out my own project, my my Iron Dipper project, the RMC hybrid treatment for the Giant Dipper at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, as well as putting the finishing touches on my project for the team. So with that in mind, that's the reason why I'm doing this as a video response instead of a text response. A video response is just simply going to be quicker. So yeah, so with that in mind, let's get into everything. Question 1, what was the most challenging stanza this season and how would you handle it differently in the future? Okay, I'm going to admit I'm going to have a couple answers for all of these questions. The most challenging stanza for me was definitely the Tokyo Disney Sea Fireworks nighttime show project. Simply because fireworks and nighttime shows in general are my Achilles heel when it comes to these challenges. I simply don't do well in them. I simply don't have a vision for them, really. What could I have done better? I mean, in that situation, there's really not a ton I could have done, and to tell you the truth, because I don't know. I mean, I guess just, beyond just, hey, get on board with something you're not really that comfortable with. That's what I could have done better. Because essentially what happened in that project was I just kind of phased out. I had worked really hard. I believe that was the project right after the Six Flags project. So I had worked really hard on the Six Flags project. And I was just kind of over it at that point. I was just kind of like, I've never been to Tokyo Disney Sea. I don't really know the layout there. B, I'm not really into nighttime spectaculars. I'm always the type of person who runs to marathon the attractions when the nighttime shows are going on. So like I said, what I would have done differently in the future is I definitely would have contributed in some way, shape, or form. I mean, I believe that was the first project that we used the charming announcer voice guy. So that was nice. That was nice. Now, I'm going to give a second response, though. The second response is the other most challenging project of the season for me was this past project, the Muppet Project. And it wasn't challenging to me. This is actually kind of like the opposite of the challenge that I faced with the Tokyo Disney Sea project. The challenge with the Muppet Project is kind of trying to get the team on the right foot and just my own shortcomings as a team leader. Because this was a project where I think it was just like a combination of a lot of people being on vacation or having busy schedules. Then also several people like Poe just not knowing the Muppets that well. It was just a combination of factors that led to not a lot of participation on my team's end. And frankly, there's 2 things I could have done to handle that better. One, I really shouldn't have, basically, I kind of, in so many terms, yesterday posted that I was just going to make it a solo project. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have ever given up on my team. And I guess in general, I could have been a little bit more open about the fact that that I'm probably a bigger Muppet fan than anyone else on the team. And so most people aren't going to share my specific passion for the source material. And I kind of approached it from a team leader point of view as if everyone was a big Muppet fan. So I was like, hey, guys, just come up with gags. And that kind of led to not a lot of contributions. It was a simple project. It was a project that could have been done with 2 to 3 people. But at the end of the day, I just feel like it was a rushed thing on my part. And also just to put it out there, for some reason, I thought I had it in my head the whole week that these things were due tomorrow and not tonight. So yeah, I was an idiot. I thought I had a whole other day to work on this. Turned out I had to really crack it out in like under an hour because I had to do this too, so that's completely on me. I should have had way better time management. All right, let's see. The next question. Did you learn any new Imagineering skills in the stanzas? If so, what were they? Did you feel it was worthwhile to try and learn them? I guess the big thing that I kind of took away from is the videos, which I didn't have time to do for the Muppet Project, unfortunately. I would have totally used my Miss Piggy voice because I have a really, really good Miss Piggy impression. Oh, Christopher, fly me over the towers of Metropolis. So instead of the charming announcer voice guy and his pet cat Lloyd, I probably would have done a Miss Piggy video. But I didn't have time to for the Muppet Project. But in general, with the video projects, that helped me kind of, one of the main things I kind of learned was to kind of put your own personal touch into the project, which is something I've always kind of strived for, but not something I've put a lot of practice in until we got to the charming announcer voice guy. And then from that point forward, every project from Team Castle was a charming announcer voice guy project, and he was like the main mascot of the team in a way. He was a disembodied voice, but he was a sexy voice. Am I right? All right, seriously. So yeah, I mean, the big takeaway, the big thing that I've tried that I never tried before in terms of these games was the videos and coming up with this character, who essentially, it's Brad Jones. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brad Jones. I'm the cinema snob. Would you like a picture of my pet cat, Lloyd? Lloyd's a great cat. I have that Brad Jones impression down, so I just figured, Brad Jones would make a really, really good commercial announcer. So there you go. That's charming announcer voice guy. That was kind of my main thing that I took away that I've never really tried before. Now, in tandem with 2, can you identify one or more ways in which you have proved as an Imagineer? Well, like I said, it goes back to the personal touch, and importantly, with the charming announcer voice guy, the personal touch with that was the sense of humor. I really learned that sense of humor was one of the big takeaways this time around. I've never really tried to do a sense of humor. And with this, I mean, really, every project that Team Castle excelled at, we excelled at because of our sense of humor. Whether it be all the Nintendo projects or it be, the charming announcer voice guy, I feel like the sense of humor really, we really tried to go above and beyond with that. Sometimes it didn't work out as well as we wanted it to, like, for example, with the Rocket Rods marketing campaign. That was a good idea. It just wasn't executed very well, and probably because we had so little time to actually put it together. But generally speaking, like I said, kind of stemming from charming announcer voice guy, the sense of humor was the one thing that I really, I'm definitely going to play more into. The sense of humor and also making the project your own. Definitely like going above and beyond to, put a sense of personal touch into everything you do. Those are definitely big takeaways for me. Okay, and finally, any additional thoughts or comments? Yeah. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I haven't had the best attitude throughout the course of this game. I completely admit it. Space, I know every time you get a private message from me, your heart probably sinks into your stomach and your gut, like, oh God, what's Tiki up to this time? I had a lot of challenges this time around in terms of, obviously, I think I was like by far the biggest person who took the losses that Team Castle suffered from seriously. Like, every time Team Castle lost, I would take it personally. I would blame myself. I would, generally speaking, honestly, kind of lament the team I was on. And because of that, that's the one thing I would really take away and change about my overall game is kind of not making everything so personal. Even going back to this Muppet project, there was definitely a moment of weakness on my end where, because of the lack of posting and because of the lack of people actually contributing, I basically got the idea in my head like, hey, it's because people don't like me on a personal level, and therefore because I'm the team leader, people have decided not to, just sit this one out. Obviously that's dumb, obviously that's stupid, obviously that's a product of my own personal anxiety and whatnot. So going forward, main takeaway I want to stress to you guys is I'm really going to strive to try harder to do better in that regard. I really want to be a good sport about this. I always end up feeling way better about myself, way better about the experience in general when I'm just a good sport about it. A good example of that was what was the project? It was shoot, I'm blanking on it. It was the project before the Sizzle Kong project. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it, but I know I just I remember posting like, "Hey, good job, Team Bravo, for a well-deserved win. Good job for Team Castle for making it a close race." And that's the kind of attitude you should have all the time. And I promise in the future I'm going to do better in that regard. So let's see. Just let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. All right. I hope to God this uploads in time because I need to process it and everything. And I'm getting really down to the wire with the timing here. But thank you for watching my video. Thank you for considering me. And definitely thanks for a great season so far. And I'll see you guys on the other side.